Welcome back, YouTube. Today I'm going to talk about what's in my bag for the 2023 season. I've been working on rebuilding my bag over the past couple of seasons. I only have one piece that I have to finally replace, and it's just been a headache because it's one of the stronger parts of my game. So I decided to go out and film a night range session at the South Ridge driving range. So I'll begin with my bag. I always stick with cart bags because I feel like they're the most practical. I walk primarily, and I stopped carrying a while back, so I use a push cart most often. And back in 2017, when I upgraded my then golf bag, I switched to a Sun Mountain C130, and I just loved it. I thought it was like one of the best golf bags ever. And then about 4 years later, when I decided, hey, I'm going to upgrade everything, I couldn't find anything that was even as good, let alone better. I just bought the same exact bag again in black. This is probably the best golf bag out there right now. It's not the cheapest, but it's definitely worth the price you pay. So I'll start with my wedges. I use a typical 52, 56, 60 gap. I had a 50 degree for a really long time. One of the newer clubs in my bag is my 52. About every 2 years, usually I change wedges just because they get the most use and they get the most heavy wear and tear. Typically always stuck to Cleveland Golf. I used to use a lot of Cleveland Golf. I used to use Cleveland launchers for my driver, my fairway woods, but once they got bought by whoever and then Srixon took over, and then I tried to buy one of the newer rebranded drivers that still said Cleveland on them, but it just didn't have the same feel to it. The wedges have pretty much, the quality has stayed the same. My 52 and my 56 are Zipcore RTX with mid bounce, and my 60 degree is an RTX 4 that I bought like 2 years ago. I think the only reason I can reasonably keep a consistent game is probably because of my wedge play. I seldom use a full swing with any of these wedges, and that's why I'm not really given distances because it varies a lot between them. The only club that sometimes I'll use a full swing on would be my gap wedge, and that would be like 120, 125 yards, but I seldom do that. I typically use a more controlled swing with a pitching wedge to get that kind of distance. I can generate really good spin when I need to with these clubs, and I'm really confident with my distance control with these. My save percentage right now usually stays at or above 50% because I can keep decent scores, but my greens in regulation are one of the biggest things I really need to improve on, and it has improved slightly, but it still has a long way to go to get me to the next level. So moving into my irons, I switched in the 2021 season to the Mizuno JPX 921 Forged. Before that, I was playing Callaway XR Steelhead. It was like a game improvement iron, a big cavity back. I ordered these after a custom fitting at Golf Tech in Columbus. They're standard loft 4-through pitching wedge with mid-size grips and KBS Taper Light 105 steel shafts in stiff. I was really close to swing speed that they recommended I could move up to an extra stiff to decrease my dispersion on all my swings, but I felt like I would drop distance when I moved to a more player style iron, so I didn't want to sacrifice that in lieu of some distance because I know distance isn't the most important thing, but I knew I was going to drop, and I didn't want to drop that much. So these are the middleman between Players Club and the Game Improvement Clubs. You got the Hot Metal, and then you got the Tour series, I think, from Mizuno back then. They're not a blade, but they're a forged single piece iron, and the center of gravity is still lower. They still have that workability. Obviously, I dropped off a little bit of distance, but I improved a lot in accuracy. With my previous set of clubs, I used to get my 7-iron out to 180 plus if I needed to, but now that's closer to 165. Sometimes I'm even playing at 160, depending on the weather or my level of play that day. When I'm at address with the ball, I'm way more confident that where I'm aiming is where at least the ball is going to start. I feel like my statistics shown that my accuracy has improved quite a bit with these clubs. If I need to actually shape a ball, hit it lower, hit it higher, move it left to right, when I'm playing really well, when I intend to, these clubs have responded a whole lot better. The next part of my bag that really needs upgraded, but is absolutely one of the strongest parts of my game, is my hybrid. Now, I was never a hybrid player. I started playing golf when I was 16, and hybrids were kind of new on the scene back then. That was like, I don't remember, 2004 or 5. Hybrids were like the up and coming thing. Adams was really strong with that, and then I stuck with my long irons because in my mind I thought better players should be able to use long irons, and kind of struggled with that for a while. So back in like 2018, I just researched for like 20 minutes hybrid clubs, got on eBay and found an auction for a Callaway Epic. I went ahead and bought it, and it absolutely turned into a workhorse. It's one of my strongest parts of my game, one of my best clubs, one of my most versatile clubs. It is an adjustable Callaway Epic from 2017. I have it set on neutral at 19 degrees, which is a strong 3-iron. It's been an absolute game changer. This club, I could use it off the tee, you can use it from the rough, fairway, basically anywhere absolutely that I needed it. I could hit low punch shots. I could hit the occasional stinger when I intended to even. I could confidently use this club anywhere from 190 to 240. I could use a smooth swing and know that it's going to go about 195, or I can absolutely muscle up on it and I can push it 240 from the fairway. That's when I'm playing my best. It's really difficult to replace it, but at this point, you can see the wear is just getting to the point where it's just not going to perform like it used to. So it needs replaced. If anyone has a recommendation for a good replacement, good hybrid, something, an alternative, feel free to leave it in the comments, because I have shopped for the past year and a half. I've hit simulators, I've tried several clubs, and nothing has the feel, the workability, or gives me the confidence that this club does. The closest contenders I tried were a Titleist U500, I think. It was a strong 3-iron. Did not have the workability that I'm used to, or maybe I spend more time with it. It was just not an investment I wanted to make at the time. And then the Callaway Apex Pro, which is more of, it's stronger lofted, it's closer to a 2-iron. Price point was just not where I wanted it. I just don't want to spend that much right off for a club. But either way, I'm definitely going to have to replace this. So the newest club in my bag is my 3-wood. And honestly, I kind of just grabbed it on a whim. I was getting ready to go on a golf trip with my friends last year. For a long time, I'd been needing to replace my TaylorMade M4. I went the day before the trip, took like 3 swings with 2 different 3-woods, and ended up buying this one. It does match my driver. It's a slightly newer model, but this is a Callaway Epic Max. It's a hazardous smoke stiff shaft with mid-sized grip. I have to say that I've been pleasantly surprised with this thing, man. My best shots with it haven't been on camera. I mean, I had a 270 some yard tee shot on a short par 4. Best was a 255 yard shot to within 3 feet when I was playing in Oglebay and Wheeling. Like with most of my clubs, consistency is an issue with this thing, but when this club is working, it's definitely effortless and smooth. And with the fairway wood market itself has not been very exciting in the past decade or so, I don't see it getting replaced anytime soon. I'm a big fan. The next club in my bag is still one of my favorite clubs. People that actually follow my channel have watched may be curious. This is the unofficial mascot for my fledgling YouTube channel. This is actually a present my wife got me one time, and the reason is that's because this is my unofficial mascot. This is Logan. They're right, bud. All right, bud. Distance has never been one of the strong points of my game. My fairway accuracy isn't terrible, but I've just never been a long ball hitter like most of the guys I play with. My average drive, honest average drive, that isn't just a mishit, is probably close to 240, maybe a little bit longer. Occasionally, I will get a hold of a shot and get some distance out of it because the swing speed's there. My swing speed is enough to push the ball out to 255, 260, or even further, but I generate a lot of spin on the ball, more than I should, especially with a driver. Some golf instructors aren't even sure how. That was the biggest point of contention when I chose the driver that I have now. Out of the several drivers I hit in the simulator, this wasn't the farthest, but I did generate the least spin with this. It is a Callaway Epic Flash Sub-Zero. It has a slightly lower center of gravity. It's got the flash place technology. I usually have the weight set to a fade setting, 9.5 degrees, and neutral on the shaft. It's a hazardous smoke, stiff shaft, mid-sized grip. And occasionally I can get good contact and I can push the ball out to a little far. I think on camera one time I pushed one out past 280, only for my buddy to follow up and hit one over 300 yards. I've never been a long ball hitter, but I've been very consistent with this driver, so I'm very satisfied with it. Moving on to the most useful weapon in my bag, one of my most exciting purchases, the Odyssey Killer. Odyssey putters have been in my bag since I started playing golf. Probably still some of the best putters ever made, but I think these guys give them a really good run for the money. This is an even roll ER2. I was really excited when I first tried one of these on a golf trip a while back. They have really good feel to them. They have supposedly really good technology. My putting has improved since I purchased this. I think a lot of it is just form. I'm not going to say just buying a new putter has improved my form, but there's definitely some confidence looking over this. This is definitely not the cheapest option. The ball that I use is a TP5X, and it's not because I'm some kind of big pro golfer. During a golf lesson, kind of got pseudo fitted in the golf balls. I think I may switch back to a TP5. The instructor at the time told me you should probably use a TP5X because on your drives, you'll generate less spin. The ball flight is probably why I'd like to switch back. It's either a TP5X or a TP5. That's my what's in the bag for 2023. I appreciate you tuning in. I'm looking forward to making some more content this year. I have a few more things I'm working on. I've got a few head-to-heads. I've got more course vlogs. I've got a worst ball challenge that I did. I've got some more casual rounds to play. I've got some more tutorials. I'm going to show how I make the logos. I'm going to do a step-by-step how I do my animations for my course vlogs. Eventually, I plan to do a video that just shows start to finish how I edit my complete and total course vlog. So that'll do it for this video. And once again, thanks for watching and stay tuned for more.